A potentially seismic trade confrontation is rapidly escalating between the United States and Canada, a conflict ignited by the Canadian province of Ontario's provocative announcement of a proposed 25% surcharge on electricity exports destined for the U.S. This move, coupled with increasingly assertive pronouncements from Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, signals a dramatic departure from the traditionally amicable trade relationship between the two nations. Reports circulating in both nations' media outlets indicate that Carney has directly threatened to curtail electricity exports, raising the specter of a significant energy crisis that could ripple through the North American economy. While Canada has long been perceived as a stable and reliable trading partner, the current tariff disputes are testing the very foundations of this alliance, pushing it towards uncharted territory. Prime Minister Carney's increasingly bold rhetoric is generating considerable unease within Washington's corridors of power. His declaration on March 27, 2025, that the era of traditional closeness with the U.S. is over, has been followed by a series of strategic leaks and public statements hinting at Canada's willingness to leverage its significant assets in the oil, gas, LNG, electricity, and automotive sectors. This stance, while resonating with domestic audiences seeking a more assertive Canadian position, is triggering alarm bells in the U.S., as it suggests a potential disruption of critical supply chains and energy flows that underpin the continent's economic stability. The energy sector is at the forefront of this rapidly unfolding dispute, serving as a key battleground. Canadian crude oil exports to the U.S., estimated to have reached a staggering $70 billion in 2024, represent nearly one-fifth of total U.S. oil imports. This significant dependence on Canadian energy supplies provides Ottawa with considerable leverage in the ongoing negotiations. Furthermore, Canada plays a crucial role in supplying the U.S. with natural gas and LNG, particularly to states located in the northern regions. Prime Minister Carney, in a carefully worded speech delivered on March 27, 2025, asserted, "We hold these cards because we have a neighbor who insists on imposing unilateral tariffs upon us." Parallel discussions within the Canadian Parliament have explored the strategic option of diversifying energy exports to alternative markets, potentially reducing reliance on the U.S. The electricity trade, a vital component of the interconnected North American energy grid, is another crucial aspect of this economic relationship. Canada exported approximately 65 terawatt-hours, TWh, of electricity to the U.S. in 2024, accounting for a significant 20% of consumption in certain U.S. regions. Given Canada's abundant hydroelectric potential and its favorable climate, it has historically provided electricity to the U.S. at competitive prices. However, there are now growing concerns that Canada may retaliate against U.S. tariffs by implementing higher taxes or imposing stringent export restrictions. This could potentially lead to a sharp increase in electricity costs in northern U.S. states and significantly disrupt energy-intensive industries. An unnamed official from the Prime Minister's office, speaking on background, further escalated tensions by stating, "We are actively reviewing the terms of trade in all sectors, including electricity, and exploring all available options." The automotive sector, deeply intertwined between the two nations, is also a focal point of this increasingly bitter trade dispute. Canadian automotive and parts exports to the U.S. exceeded $30 billion in 2024, reflecting the significant cross-border integration of supply chains. Prime Minister Carney has publicly indicated a potential reshaping of the automotive supply chain and the imposition of new tariffs on U.S. imports. The recent abrupt removal of tax incentives for U.S. electric car companies and persistent rumors of additional tariffs on manufacturers like Tesla are adding to the growing uncertainty and fueling tensions. Canada argues that these measures are a direct and proportional response to U.S. tariffs on Canadian goods, framing them as necessary to protect its domestic industries. Agricultural trade, another vital component of the bilateral relationship, is estimated at $45 billion in 2024. Canada is a major supplier of essential agricultural products, including wheat, canola, meat, and dairy, to the U.S. market. Prime Minister Carney has signaled the possibility of implementing new taxes on agricultural products, stating, "They should not underestimate our resolve and our strength in the agricultural sector." The potential disruption of canola seed exports, valued at $6 billion, and other agricultural products could significantly impact U.S. domestic market prices and disrupt critical supply chains. The total two-way trade between Canada and the U.S. is estimated at a staggering $900 billion in 2024, underscoring the profound economic interdependence between the two nations. Prime Minister Carney has repeatedly emphasized the complexity of this interdependence, warning against the imposition of unilateral tariffs that could destabilize the entire North American economy. He has also publicly indicated a strategic shift towards diversifying trade relationships with European and Asian markets, signaling a potential realignment of Canada's economic priorities.